بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. It is Thursday, the 1st of September 2022, and in our series, Reflections on the Holy Quran, this is broadcast number 354. And we are considering the meanings of the words of chapter 2, verse 104, and this is the second broadcast in considering these words. These broadcasts are brought to you by LASER, Lahore Ahmadiyya School of Education in Religion, which is a branch of the Ahmadiyya Association for Propagation of Islam. The Ahmadiyya movement was created by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, Rahmatullah Alayh, who taught that although people say that after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, prophets can come, this cannot be right, because the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was Khatamun Nabiyyin, and the Holy Prophet explained that by saying, La Nabi Abadi, there is no prophet after me. So now no prophet is going to come, whether an old one or a new one. And Hazrat Sahib said his claim was that in accordance with the hadith, he was a mujaddid. There had been many before him in the Muslim Ummah who had claimed to be the reformers, the mujaddideen, in accordance with this hadith. And he also explained that his only distinction from other mujaddids was that the Messiah and Mahdi were, they mentioned in the hadith, were not two people, but two titles, two attributes of a mujaddid for the task he was going to carry out, and they applied to him. And because of this difference of opinion, because someone accepted these explanations and others didn't, people started calling Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad and Ahmadis Kafirs. And Hazrat Sahib pointed to the hadith of the Holy Prophet, which said that if a Muslim, if a reciter of the Kalima says to another reciter of the Kalima that you are a heretic, then this edict of heresy falls upon the person who utters it. So we mustn't call each other heretics and so on. So Sahib also explained that people generally say that in the sources of Islam, on the top is Hadith, and then the Holy Quran. He said this is wrong. The topmost source we have is the Holy Quran. And next is the actions or the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. And then come hadith. So if you can find a hadith that does not contradict the Holy Quran, that does not contradict nature, that doesn't contradict common sense, and so on and so forth, then you can try and act on that hadith. Hazrat Sahib also explained that people say that some prophetic revelation has been left out of the Holy Quran, missed out, like Surah Balayat and Ayat Rajam, etc. But Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said this cannot be right, because God says in the Holy Quran, I have revealed it and I will protect it. So how can this happen? So he said there is no theory of abrogation, nasakh mansukh, and all this kind of thing. And he also said that jihad is a fundamental duty of every Muslim, but jihad as defined by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, which is jihad bin nafs, an inner jihad, a jihad with your own self, with your own soul, to fight, to struggle against the temptations to do the wrong thing for your personal benefit. So with that, let us go to chapter 2, verse 104, which, as I said yesterday, is the beginning of section 13 of Al-Baqarah, the second book of the Holy Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقولوا راعنا وقولوا انظرنا واسمعوا وللكافرين عذاب أليم. O you who believe, say not Ra'ina, and say Unzurna, and listen. And for the disbelievers, there is a painful punishment. So today we are going to look at two words: law, which is easy. If I can find my notes. So law, do not, as you saw in the translation that I read out, do not say. And this is a negation, a negative that stops you, prohibits you from doing something. And the next word is taqulu, and its root, its masdar is qaf wa lam. And it occurs in the Holy Quran 1722 times in 6 different forms. 1618 times it occurs as qala, and then 92 times as qawl. So That is 1710 times, leaving only 12. So the other occurrences are 2, 3, 4, and this kind of thing. What does it mean? And it means to say. In different forms, it means say. It is said, they say, he said, etc. I said, I say, we said, etc. For example, in chapter 2, verse 34, it says, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا, and we said. وَقُلْنَا, and we said, Ya Adam, Ya the muskun anta wa zawjaka al-jannata. And we said, oh Adam. So this is all about God instructing people. But then also, you said, wa is qultum ya Musa, and so on. So kul with additions of different pronouns becomes you said, we said, he said, etc. And there are two words. This means something that is uttered. And it's a common word in Urdu, call, apne call ka pakka rehna, and that is, stand by your word. So we have al-qawlu and al-qila, and both of them stand for utterance, saying something. Chapter 4, verse 122. وَمَنْ أَصْدَقُ مِنَ اللَّهِ قِيلًا. Who is more truthful in what he says than Allah? So here the word qila is used. As I said, al-qawl and al-qil, they stand for uttering something. And this is the general sense, that it's some words that come out of someone's mouth. And it may be a whole speech, maybe a paragraph, it may be a sentence, it may be a word. So all of these are called qawl. There's no limit on how big or how small it may be. But then, interestingly, the Holy Quran also uses it to denote a thought, something that is in your head but hasn't been uttered. وَيَقُولُونَ فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ لَوْلَا يُعَذِّبُنَا اللَّهُ. Chapter 58, verse 8. And in their hearts, they say that if he's really a prophet, these words, if he's really a prophet, are not there, they're implied, then because of what we say, why doesn't God punish us? Literal translation is, and in their hearts they say, because of what we say, why doesn't God punish us? Now here they're not actually saying it aloud with their tongues. They are thinking. So if you have a thought, although you haven't uttered it, the word qawl is also used for that. And of course, that means that if you have an opinion, if you have a belief, whether you utter it or not, whether you tell others about it or not, this word applies to it. But there is a more interesting use of the word in chapter 18, verse 86. God says, قُلْنَا يَا ذَا الْقَرْنَيْنِ إِمَّا أَن تُعَذِّبْ. And we said to Zulqarnain. Now, the question is, how did God say that? Because we all know Zulqarnain was not a prophet. And then people go into long discussions that it wasn't a wahi, it was a ilham, and it was ilqa, and so on. But the point is, here God is speaking to a non-prophet. And generally when God speaks to human beings, it's called wahi. And yes, there is two types of wahi, wahi in Nabuwa and wahi Wilaya. Wahi in Nabuwa is the wahi God sends to prophets, which is binding. You must obey it, you must follow it. If you disobey that, then you'll be judged and you'll have to explain yourself. But the other type of wahi, the one received by walis, that is called wahi abilai, but you don't have to follow it. If you reject it, you're still a Muslim. You'll be on probably making a mistake, but you'll still be a Muslim. But you see, God speaks to things in whatever form it is appropriate to humans. It's wahi. But God also says in chapter 21, verse 69, قُلْنَا يَا نَارُ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا. And we said, Qulna. I mean, people translate that as we ordered, we commanded. But Qulna, we said to the fire, cool down and become a cause of salamati, salama. So we have to think, how did God speak to the fire and commanded it? And so we must remember that we mustn't go around restricting what God says. This is only wahi, this is this is that, and so on and so forth. Quran has a much wider use of words. The main thing that we must remember is that we follow God's guidance about being truthful, about being honest, about being trustworthy, and so on. It's our actions that matter. And it's our actions that will be judged on foremost. People rightly ask. There are countries where if you go to a mosque at prayer time, the mosque is full and people are praying outside in the street. And yet when it comes to human relations, you find that people there are not truthful, they're not honest, and so on. So the question then arises, what did you gain from that prayer? Because the prayer is supposed to be your sort of accountability, your interview with God. What have you done in the last so many hours? So what are we saying to God? Well, we are here, we are going up and down and so on. But I'm not going to tell you what I did in the last few hours, or, last few hours I've been cheating and lying and so on and so forth. So, we're at the end of our time, and before I finish, I want to request you to pray for people who are suffering in Pakistan because of floods. They've lost their homes, they lost their crops, they lost their livelihood, they've lost their cattle, etc. They don't have food to eat, they don't have shelter, they don't have medication. And when it comes to helping humanity, it should be above considerations of nationality and race and sect and that kind of thing. Remember that. The idea that, why should I help this person? He's a whatever, Hindu, Sikh, Christian, Buddhist, should never enter our heads. The idea whether he's a Sikh or this one or Brailvi or whatever should never enter our heads. Our only thought should be, it's a human being who's in difficulty and I can help. Whether it is by praying for them, whether it is by donating some funds or donating time or etc. So at the least, please pray for these people who've lost everything. Even if you can't donate time or donate money or devote time. And I can only pray that Allah blesses your efforts in this regard. Tomorrow is Friday, so we'll be broadcasting the Friday sermon, and then we'll be back to reflections on the Holy Quran on Monday. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.